Hello everyone, happy Friday. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name's Sophia, and for all of my returning watchers, thanks so much for popping back on. Let me scooch into the center here. Ta-da! Today I have my London recap video gosh, words are hard. And I'm also giving you my LCS review for future scholars, for future people who want to do this work study program. I want to give you my honest feedback and just give you my reflection about my time in London as it wraps up so very quickly. But without further ado, let's roll the intro and then let's get into it. Alrighty. All right, everyone, welcome back. So my time here in London is quickly coming to a close, and I really just wanted to share my final thoughts about the whole process, as well as give you kind of the little ins and outs about what I've been doing while I've been here. And I'm not going to spoil what I'm doing next because that's a whole nother video. I promise once I get back to the States, my stuff is going to be less of me yapping at you and more of me showing and doing. I am not a vlogger. We know that by so many stretches of us trying to do this. But I will get back to more of my fashion styling videos. I just don't really have the space, the lighting, all of my goodies, and so it's just not the best setup for that, filming those kinds of videos. Sorry, I have a bad habit of playing with my bangs. But I promise those videos are coming back if that's what you like. But without further ado, my London recap. So I will definitely say the first month and a half were kind of sucky. And that's my honest bit. Just moving to a new place that you're not, I kind of struggled with the same things that I felt in New York. New York is in the States, but it's still very much culture shock. It's still very much a different way of life. And it's almost the same here. It's like switching from that suburban life to living in the city. And just all of the different factors that come with that, whether that be commuting, how you buy your groceries, how you get to places, what you're wearing on your feet, you're wearing with your clothes because of the temperature. There's just lots of other things that you have to focus on, what you're eating. And it's just, sometimes it's just a lot because you can't just drive down to your Target and pick up your favorite gluten-free stuff. We all know about Mousegate, my Lanta, and we all know that I finally got settled here. I will say though, I did have a little baby blues because the beginning of this trip, I am one to set my expectations for something super duper high and put a lot of pressure on things. And when things don't work out that way, I'm like, what the heck? This sucks. I try not to show that side of myself a lot, but that's automatically where I go. And so I think definitely booking some of the craftier classes that I was doing, booking travel trips and just getting out of London itself and exploring has been super helpful, but also just kind of using this time to rest because I have been go, honestly, since I was probably 15 and able to work a job. I've always worked a full-time job and been in school, if not working one full-time job, 2 or 3 at the same time. And so it's been kind of nice to just be one thing, I will say that the busy planner girl in me, I am dying to get back to start working. My bank account's dying for me to get back and start working, but I really love a schedule. I miss my dog. I am excited for the next chapter that's ready to come, but I am glad I did this. I feel like if you would have asked me a year and a half ago, that version of Sophia, if I would have ever come here to London and do this, the answer would be no, you're crazy. So I am really glad that I pushed myself outside of that boundary, and I'm here and I was able to explore and, you know, kind of have that live abroad effect, even if it wasn't like the most fabulous. I will say though, I'm so glad I ended up in London, opposed to someplace that's maybe not as English friendly, just because I only speak English, and it's everybody speaks English other places, but I had, when I was a sophomore or junior, I had applied for the American Business College in Paris and I had gotten in. This was also right at the same time that my mom had gotten sick, so it just really wasn't a good time to go. But I think if I would have ended up in Paris, I would have been even more isolated, even more, like, even struggled even more, because there would have also been a language barrier on top of everything. So I'm really glad I ended up in London, because culturally it's not that much different, but I did really enjoy my time here after I got into the swing of things. I will say there are days that have been better than others, and there are days that I'm just like, gosh, I did absolutely nothing today. But that's okay, because I've used this time to really like focus on building my hobbies that I want to take with me, or maybe like exploring and traveling. I have visited more countries this year than I have ever been able to visit before. I've spent most of this year in Europe, believe it or not, based off of my 3 months here. I had 2 weeks in London in May, and then my mom and I also had 2.5 weeks in Europe this summer. So I've kind of been able to just really explore. Most of my time has been here in London, but I've been really fortunate to be able to explore other places, which has been really cool, and solo travel. I backpack very, very differently than I imagined when you say 20-somethings backpacking in Europe, but that's okay. I do it. It's like glamping. I do my version of camping, you know? But it's really forced me to, you know, to get out, to try new things, to stick to a budget, to just do different things that sometimes I feel like you get swept up in doing. It's just life, but like you really have to focus on doing them when you're put in a different situation. So that's my little bit on that. Now I'm going to give my LCS review. So this is kind of like a program. So when I came over in May, I had a lecture with one of the professors at the university that my program is through, and it was absolutely fantastic. He was saying everything that I had been wanting to hear, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to come here and study. I want to come here and work with them. Like this is what I want, you know? Like I really quickly applied for the program, and I really quickly got swept into, like, in a month and a half, I'm leaving for London kind of thing. Will I say that's the best way to do this kind of thing? No, maybe plan it out a little bit more. Maybe like think through all the details. Maybe ask a little bit more questions. Maybe do a little bit more research. I'm a very impulsive person. When I decide I'm going to do something, I am like, nope, you can't change my mind. This is it. That's my like stubborn, maybe my stubborn blonde in me. I'm like, nope, this is it. This is happening. So the program, this is like my program side of the thing. I honestly have been disappointed with the program, and I think that also weighs into the beginning of my London experience, my overarching like kind of like feel about my time here, because I had really high expectations again for what I wanted to get out of this, and I didn't get that. We had an endless rotating door of professors and advisors. The communication was lacking. The unorganization was incredibly frustrating. And for someone who has a 4-year degree from an accredited university, and to sit in a classroom with fellow students that have 4-year university degrees, doctorates, masters, and to feel the same thing of the frustration of the unorganization, the time wasting, it's it's just incredibly frustrating because it almost felt like the information that you had paid for, well, you can pay another, X amount of dollars and we'll give that to you, but we're not going to give you all of the information. It's like you had to pull information out of them, and that was really frustrating because when you want to learn something and you're really passionate about it, you feel like professors, teachers, mentors should just want to watch you succeed, So that part was very frustrating. But then again, I think that's just the world of fashion. Truly, it's very Devil Wears Prada. It's very who you know. It's really all about whose bread you butter. And I think that is kind of sad because I think that's just the industry. And I think as we enter into the industry as fellow fashion, merchandisers, buyers, assortment teams, visual merchandisers, designers, stylists, all of these roles, I think you really, really, really need to just focus on being kind, because kindness goes a long way. Understanding and empathy go a long way, and open communication go a long way. And I just feel like our industry is not that. It's very much who you know. It's that inner circle. It's very cliquey. And so I think as we move through the ranks and the old people kind of fade out and we go up to the top, I think we just need to do a better job about welcoming, the new blood in, the new talent in. But I did get some incredible experiences. The first part of my time in London, I was really focused on fashion styling, editorial, marketing, magazines, that kind of thing. How celebrities work, that kind of bit. I did get to work at London Fashion Week, which is really great, really cool. Worked 3 shows for them, but there were no other industry related opportunities outside of the ones the school hosted, which was another red flag in my book, because we were told when we signed up in the introduction there would be so many industry opportunities, you'd be so busy working, and I haven't seen any of those. So that's been another this is annoying. But I'm really glad that I did, the catch-22 is I'm really glad that I did have this side of things, this practice run of things in all these different areas beforehand, before I went into the job market, because it really gave me an idea of no, this is a day-to-day thing. No, I really don't like this, and I'm sure it varies on company to company, but the daily tasks that go into these things, I was nah, this is not for me. Nah, this is not me. I am not going to be sitting there doing Photoshop and working on my computer all day. That's just and I'm not gonna be kissing up. I don't want to work in that corporate level that I necessarily thought that I wanted to. When I went to school, I was oh my gosh, I'm gonna come out of school, I'm gonna be a big buyer for a big designer, I'm gonna work a little New York office doing my little retail plan, It's so not personal, and I'm such a personal person, so I'm glad I tried it, because I was no, right decision, not right. And then the second half of my journey was really focused on personal styling, and I really, really enjoyed that. I just wish there was more time focused on that, opposed to the fashion styling, marketing aspect of things, that editorial base. But it was more personal, which I really, really enjoy. And I really loved learning about color, because I love color. I love color psychology. I loved fashion history. I just really loved exploring these topics that are really exciting to me, and just to be surrounded with 20 other people that are really exciting to them too. It was really neat. I met people from all over the world. I will say though, if you're coming to do this program from, I don't want to say if you need to have a lot of spare change to do this program, and that's something that they tell you at the beginning, but they don't really emphasize on how much shopping for other people you'll be doing. We were doing photo shoot after photo shoot after photo shoot, and we're stylists, you're going to the store, you're sourcing and stuff, but without a portfolio, nobody's lending to you. Nobody wants to trust you with designer, you know? So you're buying and returning, as unethical as that sounds, but that's what you're doing. And so you need to have like a credit card that you can charge stuff on. And I will say, if you're coming, I have a friend who came from Canada. I have a friend who moved here from the States as well as me. And, you know, that was a big expense to come. Airfare, you've got housing, you've got your transportation here, you've got your daily cost of living. Like all of that on top of the tuition that you're paying for this program. And then you're being asked to go out and spend more money, more. And you're kind of like, I'm just a girl, you know? I definitely think that like it's more geared towards that, like, you gotta have, and like I'm fortunate enough that I was able to like swing it barely, you know, but like you could tell who had designer stuff for their shoots, and some people who were shopping at the Zara and, you know, the Primark, and it's fine, it's totally fine, but then that reflects in your portfolio, and then it's kind of like, well, gee, my stuff looks like a branded catalog shoot. So I would say if you are coming from far away, be ready for that extra bit, because it's consistent. They will constantly be asking you to spend money, and it could be like excursions and stuff. You're going to be constantly asked to spend money. Your styling kit that you get at the beginning does not have all of the tools you need. Constantly asked to spend money, and that's fine. And maybe that just needs to be more laid out before you sign up, or more advertised, I guess, and really be upfront with your students, because it is a lot and it adds up. And especially for somebody who's come here to take off work for 3 months, like, you know, it adds up. I mean, again, you're buying and returning a lot of it, but sometimes they're picky and they're like, sorry, we won't take it back. Knock on wood, I've got a return to do Tuesday. But that's just my reflection upon the course. I just wish I would have gotten a little bit more out of it. I definitely, and knowledge-wise, I wish I would have gotten more learning out of it on the practical side of things, like the textbook, notebook kind of thing. I will say I saw how the industry operated. I saw what I liked, what I didn't like, and I made note of what to look for when I'm looking for a job. So there's pros and cons. I definitely did learn stuff from it, but was it the stuff that I wanted to learn? Maybe not necessarily. Would I suggest this course to anybody? Probably not. And that's kind of hard for me to say, but like, I really think unless you have a bunch of disposable income, you have the time to commit to the 6-month version of the course and not the 3-month, the 6-month version of the course, and you're okay not getting instruction and guidance, and you're okay living in chaos with no communication and unorganization, go for it. But if you're a type A older sister like me, babe, stay home. Find someplace else to do this, because you're gonna be like, that's how you're gonna be. And it's so frustrating. I will say my feelings were not just me, they were validated by majority of the class. And again, it's just that fashion setting. So I really do think it's our job to start to change the way fashion is operated. But anyways, overall, it was probably, it's probably a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10, I'd say. I am glad I did it. I definitely feel like I've grown as a person. I definitely feel like it's given me time to rest. I definitely feel like I've had some self-exploration time, but I don't feel like I got everything out of it. And that's okay. That's okay. But I am glad I've had the opportunity to come and live abroad. So That's my hot take, but I am really excited for my next chapter. I can't wait to share with you guys what I'll be doing. And that's that. But I hope you all do something that makes you happy today. Let me know if you studied abroad, what's your bits and takes from your experience. If you've done the course, let me know your feedback. And yeah, I love you lots, and I will catch you next time. But have a great one. Bye.